she wrote to me a huge, beautiful letter, right?
Wow.
Saying, Father, you don't know how much it would brighten my day whenever you would smile and say hi to me.
Trying to be friendly, I just asked him, what congregation are you from? And he said, Legionaries of Christ. My mouth just dropped. Like, what? You're still alive? After all of that?
Actually, that was a beautiful challenge because it kind of like makes you focus on who am I following, why am I following, and it's not certainly a founder, it's Christ, and I follow him because
Yeah, oh my
I know that
gosh.
he loves me.
Magandang araw, good afternoon, good day, good evening to all of you, and welcome back to the Patscast. And I'm very excited because we have, a rather special guest today. All of our guests are special, but today, I don't know, just things connected one after the other, and now I have in the show Father Alex. Hello, Father. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Would you like
Happy to be
to?
here.
We're very glad to have you here. We're very chill and informal here, Father. I'm sorry if I'm just a little, because we haven't really talked. This is like raw. We haven't really been able to talk so much, but we've met in La Salle, right?
Yes.
So, and I've always wanted to have different priests from different backgrounds, from different ministries, congregations. So when I met you, I said, "Oh, that guy would be perfect for the show." So let's give a warm podcast welcome to Father Alex.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Father. Would you like to share something about yourself to
Very
our
good.
viewers
So,
and listeners?
Very good. So I'm Father Alejandro Mijangos. They call me Father Alex sometimes.
So I should say Father Alejandro.
So they used to call me Father Alex when I lived in Canada.
Okay.
Because Alejandro was too long for the Anglo-Saxon
Yeah.
mind, I guess.
Uh-huh. And they
And
don't pronounce it right, I'm sure.
exactly, they would say Alejandro or Alejandro. So somehow or another, we say, okay, well, call me Alex, right? So from there on, people start calling me Father Alex.
Did you decide on that name or did they give you that name?
There was a member of my community, religious community, he's a very funny priest, and he's the one that determined it from me. He wasn't the superior or anything. He was just very practical jokester. So
Uh-huh.
he's the one saying, "No, you're Father Alex," right? So he determined it for me in a sense, but it makes sense to me. Makes sense to me because I also lived in the States for a number of years, and maybe like 9 years or so. And every time I would say my name, it was very difficult for them.
Yeah.
So I did agree. Like, yeah, sure, call me Alex. That's easier, right? But I found that here in the Philippines, so I've been in the Philippines for 3 years or so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I found that Alejandro wasn't that difficult for people. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they were
actually.
more used to. My mom called me Alejandro, so I feel like a little more familiar when people call me Alejandro for whatever
Okay.
reason or another.
All
But
right.
I don't mind Alex either. It's fine.
Yeah, I can do Father Alejandro. You were introduced to me as Father Alex, so
Yeah.
I just went
Some
with
people
it.
here in the Philippines they even call me Father Ale or whatever.
Ale?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that reminds me a lot of when my family would call me.
Really?
Yeah, they used to call me Father Ale. Ale,
Mm.
right?
So you've been
So,
here for 3 years now.
3 years.
But you've been a priest for how long, Father?
So December 12th, I turned 10 years.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah. So it's
You
December.
must have been ordained pretty young.
No, I was ordained when I was 31.
All right, so this is just not fair. I would like to put it on record that Father looks much younger than me.
So, yeah, I'm
10
40
years.
10 years
Oh
of
my
priest.
goodness,
I was
Father.
ordained December 12, 2015. And actually, at a church that is maybe very dear to you because it's the church of St. Paul outside the walls.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
In Rome.
Yeah, in Rome. I was
Oh wow! How many were you in your group?
Ooh, like more than 30. Yeah.
All from the congregation?
Yep. Yeah, different countries, Colombians, Italians, Brazilians.
So
We used to have one uh, ordination mass per year. So we were
mm,
ordained all together, and we gathered from different parts of the world in Rome, December 12th.
was
And
it the Pope who did the ordination?
No, it was Cardinal Beniamino Stella. Who at that time he was the basta. That was a very important cardinal.
So the age is showing.
Yeah,
My
Beniamino
goodness.
Stella.
All right. So 10 years, 3 years
10
in the
years.
Philippines. Well, I want to let's start with your time in the Philippines. So like, do you already understand us when we speak Tagalog?
Some, yeah, some.
How do you think like
I-
can I still sell you in the street? So that's our joke, you know.
No, I don't think because I'm from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
In Mexico, we are very savvy when it comes to.
So you can you
So we're always kind of like aware of things, right? So even if I don't understand the words, my Mexican instinct comes and says like, oh, I need to be careful because they might be taking advantage of me or whatnot, right? So
okay, well, it was just a
very
joke.
street smarts.
That's what we say, you know, when you don't speak the language, we can sell you to other people.
Yeah. But I would say like maybe I know I can understand maybe 30% of what people say.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a thing, you know. So we can't
Mm.
fool you anymore.
Yeah.
Like when the students in LaSalle talk in Tagalog,
Yeah.
you can probably catch on.
I catch.
And of course, this is LaSalle. The students speak in English.
Yeah, also. Speaking English.
I studied theology in Ateneo, and
Okay.
you know the whole thing between
Yeah.
LaSalle and Ateneo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, but it's the same. When I'm in the university in Ateneo, you know, everyone's speaking
English, yeah.
in a very particular way
Yes.
of English, you know.
Yes.
The
Very particular English.
so, Father, you're from Mexico.
I'm from Mexico.
Which
So,
part?
Interesting because actually I don't have a specific place, which
What
caused.
do you mean?
Well, like when people when Mexicans ask me, where are you from? I always find
Mhm.
like an interior disruption because I don't know
Why?
where to say. I don't
How?
because you see, like when people say I am from here or from there, they usually refer to the place where their families
Mhm.
residing or where they can go home or where they have their house or sometimes where they were born. So I was born in Mexico City, but I lived there only for as long as my parents finished their college.
Mhm.
So I was born when my parents were in college. They were studying architecture.
So were you the eldest?
No,
Oh no. Okay.
I was actually the second one. We were there at the graduation of our parents. Actually, both of them graduated from architecture, and once they finished their career, they moved to the south of Mexico,
Mhm.
where I was for about 12, 13 years.
Mhm.
And I just lived there really because my parents were working there, but I didn't have any roots there.
Mhm.
Then my mother, she was in Mexico City when I was born, but really all the family of my mother is from the north of Mexico, and a place called Sonora. But we used to go to Sonora maybe once every other year.
Mhm.
So I knew Sonora only for 1 week every 2 years. So I never got like rooted there. Then once my parents retired from working, they moved to another place called Aguascalientes, which is in the west of Mexico, close to
Oh.
Guadalajara. So whenever
Oh.
I go and visit my parents, I actually go to a place where I didn't grow up where I didn't grow up, and to a house that I never knew. So when people ask me where are you from, it's like I don't know. It's like I'm not from Aguascalientes. I was born in Mexico City, but I never lived there. My family is from Sonora, but I've been there like maybe a month, if ever, right? In all the time put together. I lived in the south of Mexico, but no one lives there, right? So it
Uh,
actually created a lot of like I don't know where I am from,
okay, all
which
right.
actually led me to reflect a lot about the roots of human beings and of a person, and also where a person can identify as what is home, right?
Mm.
So I was trying to think about home as the place where I find love or where I find at ease. And home for me is not a physical location or a geographical location, but home for me is where my parents are.
Yeah.
And it could be if my parents were to be living here in the Philippines, it would be
Mm.
there, right?
Mm.
Because home is basically where the bond of love is more evident, and where you can
Mm.
be actually vulnerable, where you can be at rest, when you can be docked, right?
Ah, wow,
So,
that's profound, Father. We're
so,
not even 10 minutes into the program.
so yeah.
Yeah, but wow. So, what I'm curious when Filipinos hear you're from Mexico, what did they say?
They usually joke about Lago Mexico, Pampanga, right?
Have
Uh,
you been?
no, I've passed by 2 times or 3 times. Then also people say, "Oh, it's like Manny Pacquiao," and he was
Ah, yeah, of course.
yeah, because
And
he fought a lot of
and all the
Mexicans.
opponents that he had, yeah.
Then lately they speak a lot about Miss Universal. Uh,
Ah, yeah, of course, of course. I think Mexico won.
yes,
All
yes.
right. Okay, okay.
But
I'm not.
that's the
Yeah.
only thing that they mention when
I'm
I say
surprised that
Mexico.
telenovelas don't come up like Talia
Okay,
and
no,
all that.
some do. Some people do actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Older
See, that's what I
people.
associated you with. So I
Okay.
belong to the older.
Sorry about that.
I imagine the college students don't even know who
No,
Marimar is
no idea.
in Talia. But yeah, during
Yeah,
our time,
Australia.
it was a huge thing here in the Philippines. So it's like a phenomenon. And I
No.
think she visited several
Yeah.
times. But anyway, so not to get lost with that. You were talking about home
Mm.
and where you're from. I'm curious, Father. Of course, I want to know like how did you end up becoming a priest? Like what was that
Okay.
journey like?
Well, when I was about 15 years old, we moved in the south of Mexico. We moved to another city, my family and I, because my dad he was working at a company that had to do with the oil
Mm-hmm.
business, and they just moved him. And when they moved him, I have to move to schools also.
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico, there was high school is grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. Uh, so no, sorry, grade 10, 11, and 12. So when my parents moved, when I was 15, I was about to enter high school in grade 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was very difficult to find a high school for me in the new city that we moved to. And the only school that kind of like accepted me was a Catholic school. Before that, I
Oh,
didn't go
you
to
didn't go
Catholic
to a
school.
Catholic school? Oh, okay. I thought Catholic schools in Mexico were like a common,
Not so
like in the
much.
Philippines, you know. So,
They're common, but not as common as in the Philippines,
oh, okay.
because in Mexico there was a period of time when there was a lot of persecution against the church. So
Mm.
Catholic schools were closed or were kind of like in disguise. They were like nuns, but they wouldn't dress as nuns, or priests, and they wouldn't dress as priests. Anyways, so when I was in grade 10, I did go to a Catholic school for the first time in my life. And that was actually, it made a huge impact in my life because
Mm.
for the first time I felt that we didn't have just to go to mass on Sundays, but there were other opportunities to go to mass. There was an opportunity also of availing confessions, the sacramental confession. There was also opportunities of doing outreaches. And one of the things that in the school they did was that they gave us the opportunity of doing an outreach once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really nice because if you did the outreach, you didn't have to take the religion class exam at the end of the semester. It was optional, the outreach. So a lot of us actually went to the outreach, the once a month
Yeah.
outreach. And then when the exam was at the end of the semester, it was kind of like a free day where we just had standby time, right, with the friends. It was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, at that outreach, there was an experience, an interior experience that was very strong for me because the outreach that was the place for the outreach was an orphanage, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And this orphanage was not just any other orphanage. It was an orphanage that was run by the missionaries of charity, who usually go to the places, the poorest places in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So the missionaries of charity, so this religious congregation of nuns, they had this orphanage, and they would take like um, kids, orphans that would be abandoned sometimes at the orphanage, like placed there many times because they had very difficult or sad stories, like some of the orphans had handicaps or couldn't be taken care of by their parents, their moms. So in that orphanage, the nuns, like there were 4 nuns, I remember, they would feed them, they would take care of them, they would be their mothers for the children. And I and the group of friends of my school, we would go there and then just do outreach just so that we can get a good grade
Uh-huh.
at the exam and so that we can have time by time. Uh, so there was a moment in which it actually like dawned on me, like, wait, what am I doing? Like, how is it possible that I'm trying to do good here at this orphanage so that I can get something else?
Uh-huh.
When I am witnessing the missionaries of charity, the nuns, the 4 nuns, doing it every day of their lives with no rest, being the mothers for the children, being the support, feeding
Mm-hmm.
them every day of their lives with no vacation, and certainly and evidently with no reward,
Uh-huh.
with no remuneration. They were very poor. So I just felt interiorly, I felt like a call towards doing something that was selfless with my life, something generous. I used to put it in my mind as a 15, 16-year-old young man. I need to do something well worth with my life, something
Yeah.
that is good. I need to invest my life in something that is going to leave a long-lasting mark,
Uh-huh.
something that is generous. But anyways, I didn't do anything, right? Because it was it was just in senior high.
But that must have left a mark on you.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was an orphan, but like, yeah, we forget about all those things. Until there was a moment in which a priest went to my classroom in grade 11, and he was allowed by the nuns to go to give us a little seminar
Mm-hmm.
on the social doctrine of the church, which
Mm-hmm.
was the first time I've ever heard about that. And
Ah,
it
all
was very
right.
interesting for me because I always felt that the church and religion was very
Like,
separated from me.
yeah, yeah.
It was completely irrelevant, right? Like I
Uh-huh.
have my life as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, popular boy that, that want to play football and all those things. And then there was the church. So you go to church and you fulfill, but kind of like the paths of church and life never touch really.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But this priest that went to my classroom, I remember that made the church very relevant to my concerns and to my life, especially because I was visiting that orphanage that I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. And And also, that was the first priest that I ever saw that actually looked like a priest. In the sense
What do
that,
you mean?
so for many years in my country, Mexico, priests were actually not allowed to wear priestly clerical
Oh, really?
vestments. Yeah, because the country
Mm.
had some anti-clerical laws.
Mm.
And that's why I was saying that
Imagine.
sometimes the
Wow.
church, the Catholic schools were kind of like in disguise, and the
Mm-hmm.
nuns wouldn't look like nuns. I mean, you knew she was a nun or she was a priest because there was something,
Yeah.
there. But that priest that went to my classroom was the first time I saw a priest that was dressed like a priest. Huh?
Uh-huh. Why was he allowed to?
Um, he was allowed because the laws changed in around 1990 some,
Okay, okay.
because Pope John Paul II actually went to visit Mexico for one of the
Ah.
apostolic visits, and the government had to change the law
Mm-hmm.
because it was kind of like weird that the Pope, that he was gonna go with his sotana, he would be doing something illegally, right?
Yeah.
So they changed the laws, but the priests, they were not used to still wearing clerics. Nowadays, if you go to Mexico,
Yeah,
priests
yeah.
are now used to. But in my time as a high schooler, as a senior high student, priests were not used to. So he was kind of like the first one that was courageous enough to
Yeah.
dress like a priest.
Wow, it would have been a chance to see a pope in jeans.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
anyway, so you that priest went to your school and then something clicked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something clicked.
Uh,
And the priest kind of like say, hey, if you are interested in checking out the seminary, just let me know and I can help you out. Well, this priest happened to be a member of my religious congregation,
all
right?
right, all right.
And I don't remember me saying, yeah, yes, priest, I'm interested, because I wasn't interested in becoming a priest. I just knew that I have to be very generous with my life, but I
Mm,
didn't do any move of approaching the priest.
yeah.
But I think that my friends in my classroom, I think that they actually told the priest, "Hey, Alejandro, you try that." Probably because they were pranking me,
Yeah,
because like
yeah, yeah.
kids, you know how high schoolers are. Anyways, the priest eventually reached out to my household and say,
Wow.
well, Alejandro is interested. He And then my mom was like very like perplexed, like, yeah, were you interested? Like, how is that happening, right? And then the priest say, like, well, if you want, I can go and pay a visit to your household and check, have an interview. And then my mom told me, so this priest wants to come and then have dinner with us. Um, what should I say? And at that moment, that's when I say, yes, let him come. Because
Mm,
that moment came and arrived when I could be generous with my life, when I can do
mm,
something that was in my mind doing was long lasting impression. And I knew that if I didn't take that opportunity, the opportunity was gonna fade off, and I was just
yeah.
gonna become, one more of
So it's like now or never.
yes, now and never.
Oh, wow.
So eventually, the priest invited me to the seminary, and I went. Just wanted to be generous with life, and I didn't know what to expect in the seminary. But within like a month or so of being in the seminary and having prayer life, having the sacraments, there was a moment when I felt that God really loves me. I have
Mm,
like an experience of feeling loved by God.
mm,
And like priests usually say this, God loves you, be holy, right? But at that moment, 2 months into seminary, I felt that that was a real thing.
mm. Two
um
months into seminary.
yes. So, and I felt that the way to kind of like to do something about the fact that God loves me was trying to love him in return and trying to do what was his will or his dreams. And I felt that his dream for me was to become a priest. So
Wow.
That's
So
that's kind of like
has it been like smooth since
no,
then?
no, I don't think life is smooth for anyone.
I know, but I
Right?
mean, in terms of like your vocation discernment. So from that moment on, was it clear for you that God wanted you to be a
I
priest?
think so. I think from
Mm.
that moment on, I thought that God wanted me to be um, I used to put it in my mind an apostle, so someone that brings him into the world, and someone that celebrates the sacraments.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that that was the the calling, especially because uh, I understood in the sacrament, especially the sacrament of confession, reconciliation, and the sacrament of the Eucharist. I felt that those two moments are very particular moments of encountering the God that I felt that encountered me one day
Mm-hmm.
and showed me that He loves me. Right. So I always felt that that was the path. Right. But life becomes really complicated as you are trying to follow in the path. Right. Uh,
Yeah. So you entered seminary immediately after grade 10? Was that
After
did I
grade
get
11.
grade 11?
So I did grade 12 already in the seminary.
Oh wow. So and then college was already in the
Yes,
seminary
college in the seminary,
all the way to
all the
ordination.
way to ordination. Yeah,
So
like
yeah.
12, 13 years or so.
I see. Wow. Oh, that it's amazing how God works. So I mean, your friends pranked you.
Yeah,
It
I think so.
started with
I
that.
think so. I think so.
Did you ever ask them? Like confirm with them? What were
Uh
you thinking? Why did you point to me?
no, I never had the chance because I don't know even think that they would remember that. Right?
Okay.
Uh but they used to ask me, "Are you sure you're going to that place?" After I said, "Yeah, sure. I'm gonna celebrate your wedding and celebrate your baptisms." But I was just joking, right?
Yeah.
But my friends eventually, yeah, actually became,
That's actually what happened.
yeah, the one that is like there for their baptisms and their weddings. So
Interesting. Oh my goodness.
they asked me for prayers, right? So yes, yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, wow. So you've been mentioning, Father, that this priest is from the congregation that you are now in. So can
Correct.
you tell us a little about your congregation?
Sure, sure, sure. So my congregation is called the Legionaries of Christ, which is
Mm-hmm.
a religious congregation that is actually not that old. Maybe we're 70,
Yeah,
70
it's
years old.
quite new. I mean,
Yeah.
Society of Saint Paul is only 111, I think. So
Yes. And we started in Mexico. Mexico. Um, when I was in the seminary, I started actually in one of the first places where my religious congregation started, and then after Mexico, we also expanded to different countries like United States, Spain, Italy, and here we're in the Philippines since like 20. We have been here for like 20 years, 25 years or so, but
mm,
we're very small here in the Philippines.
yeah.
Yeah, we're very small. We're a community, only one community of priests.
How
Uh,
many are you?
eight priests.
Ah, all
Yes.
right. So yeah,
So
it's quite small.
yeah, very small.
Are you?
Very
Do you
small.
have openings?
Yeah, we have openings.
Can I apply?
Yeah.
No,
Openings. Yeah.
no. Wow. So, what in a nutshell, what would be your? How would you explain the mission or the charism of
For
your
sure.
of the legionaries?
So I think for us, the mission is to help uh, people, uh, especially lay people, to encounter Christ, to love Christ, and to get involved in trying to bring the kingdom of God into society, especially by means of apostolic works that are
Mm-hmm.
especially of greater impact, right? And we are we have a um, a group associated with us called Regnum Christi, right? So it's people that are
So yeah,
lay
was
people.
that's like for the lay people.
Yes, lay people that receive formation, spiritual direction, that also learn how to do apostolic works, right? And then they try to carry them out into the world, right? So that's the basic mission for of the Legionaries of Christ. we began in, as I was saying, in Mexico, and we're in different countries. I was actually asked after I finished high school to go to United States to continue my formation. So I did my
Mm.
formation with the Legionaries of Christ, mainly in United States. And our house here in the Philippines actually belongs to the province of the United States and Canada. So that's why
Okay.
I ended up here eventually.
Oh, all right. How many are you there? Like around the world, would you know? The
Hmm.
legionaries?
Was it like, I don't know, like 2000?
That's
Maybe
a lot.
2000. It's kind
Wow. So
of.
your vocations are very
We used to have a lot.
rich.
We These recent years has been a little bit difficult. But there was a moment in which we used to have a lot of vocations. Right? Very
Mm.
It was very. We have a lot of momentum. Let's say. Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything right now starts slowing down, and especially because there was a moment in our history that was very, very, very challenging. And
So, Father, I'm just curious about because he said that you early on you already like had this certainty about your vocation to the priesthood and to the congregation itself.
no, so to the priesthood,
To the
you see.
priesthood.
So what happens is
Ah,
we are priests that are religious.
yeah.
So there is
Like us,
priesthood,
yeah.
exactly. There is priesthood, and then there is a specific, let's say, charism. So priesthood for me, to be honest, has been very, very, very clear.
Uh huh.
But the religious congregation, um, my first attraction was towards this religious congregation, but actually in the journey towards becoming
Uh
a
huh.
priest, uh, there were challenges, right?
Yeah.
Very, very, very important challenges. Always keep in mind that I saw myself as a priest, but I wasn't. There were moments in which I wasn't sure. Like, do I am I called to this group,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
religious
yeah. I
congregation?
understand.
Yeah.
I like for me it was the opposite. I was sure about the congregation because I love the charism, but I just wasn't sure if God wanted me to
You
be a
should be a
priest.
priest, yeah,
So like if I'm gonna be a priest, it's gonna be Saint Paul. But
for
I
sure.
wasn't but for you it was the opposite. So did you
Yes.
ever like explore, like ask around, shop around, quote unquote,
No, no,
with congregations?
no. So because I think that the Lord has different ways of approaching every person. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, he was very, very good about being very direct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was very clear to me that I had to be generous first with my life, then that I have to be a priest. And there was no, like moments of of time, like lengthy time of checking things out. It was just go now, go here, that's it, right? So there was almost like a direct mm, path,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
So there was never in me the idea of, oh, I want to check out different things,
Yeah.
right? I just knew I have to be
You
here
just
and I
need to
have to be
be,
now.
yeah. All right. Okay.
Uh,
So what like sealed the deal, Father? When did that like we're not sure if you're gonna be
so because I was already in the religious congregation, so what happens is like the let's say the uncertainties came when my image of what being in this religious congregation, my image was transformed, right? Because at the beginning, I went to this religious congregation, the Legionnaires of Christ, because I really felt attracted to the way they exercise priesthood, and because I felt that there was a lot of exterior aspects that were very, very attractive to me. But then there was a moment in history that all those things, the exterior aspects, the things that might have attracted me, were very obscure, especially
mm,
because mm, the head of a religious congregation, mm, the one that we thought that he was the a model to
mm-hmm.
follow, he turned out to be actually quite the opposite of a model to follow.
Mm.
So all of a sudden, my what was the exterior attraction like fell apart, right?
Mm.
So, but what actually made me say, yeah, I'm gonna continue here, was the deep experience that I got, even if the exterior aspects were falling apart. So the interior experience of when I was 17 years old and I was 2 months into the seminary, and I felt that the Lord was very close to me and that He loved me. That was the moment. Going back to that moment, that
Ah.
foundational moment that I received when I was here in the religious congregation that I belong to, that was the make it or break it, right? And
Ah.
actually, there I bring back that memory of 2 months into the seminary. I bring it back often into my life
Mm-hmm.
because for me it's kind of like the hinge upon which everything rotates, and things might be falling apart, right? Like my religious congregation, there was a moment in which were very obscure, very difficult, things were falling apart, but that hinge of the
Mm-hmm.
experience of love that I received in my in my religious congregation has been the foundational, the
Mm-hmm.
rock. It's like in the Psalms,
Yeah.
oftentimes God is referred as the rock, my stronghold. Um, but for me, the rock is God loves me, right? And that
Yeah.
experience of God loves me, I receive it
In the
in the
congregation.
congregation.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So Um, can we just lay some context, Father, for the viewers because they might not understand what we're talking about. The Legionaries of Christ was founded by Father.
Marcial Maciel.
Yeah, and so the way things played out was that eventually it turned out that he had certain scandals.
Yes.
Let's just put it at that, and you can Google it more if you want. Kayo, alam nyo naman yan. No? The Filipinos, they will find that out. No, it's not news anyway.
No.
It's very transparent,
Yeah.
and I don't think your congregation is like trying to
No.
play that down. Because so and then it's like, can you imagine like you the podcast viewers, for example, you're following, I don't know, this congregation, this community with the founder, and the founder turns out to be like not the person he seemed to be, he claimed to be, but the total opposite.
Correct.
So like everything, like that would be heartbreaking. Like I don't even know how that would feel like, but like the closest I would have was like, I have known priests when I was still not a priest who turned out to have their own scandals, and that broke my heart
Yeah.
a little. But they
Yeah.
were not my founder. Like they were not the ones who built this entire congregation.
Yeah.
So like it must have been like infinitely more difficult
Yeah,
for
it's
you
very
guys.
difficult. It's like very similar, almost like the betrayal of a father,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Um, or yeah, the so we all have ideals of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that we look up to. When that person that you are like really looking up, like a founder, right? Actually, many religious congregations, I would say the most popular ones, they really try to bring out the story of the founder as
Yeah.
very very
Like
important.
a lot of Jesuits become Jesuits because of Saint
Correct.
Ignatius,
Yeah.
right? Or Saint Francis,
So,
Franciscans because of
yeah.
Saint Francis,
Yeah.
right?
It does it ties a lot into your identity as a member of that religious congregation because you always go back to the experience of the founder. But
Mm.
what happens is our founder cannot be a model, and it's not a source of inspiration. And it's actually quite the contrary. So it does touch your identity. You have to kind of like latch on to something that is stronger, right? And also you have to trust a lot in faith. You have to trust a lot the church and the judgment of the church. So Holy Mother Church, they make a discernment on
So they
which religious
investigated, yeah.
which religious congregations are supposed to be valid by the Lord, charisms that are let's say authentic, right? And also when there are things that are not well, the church investigates. They have apostolic visitations, they have reforms, etc. Right? So you trust that God is involved in the midst of the humanity of the people of God, right? And that you can discern through the church. You put your faith in Holy Mother Church. So for me, it was very, very difficult, and for many of my religious congregation confreres, it was very difficult because the model that we have could not be modeled anymore,
Yeah, could
and
not be
because
father
it could not be
anymore.
father anymore, right? So we were like a little bit orphaned in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
and because there was uncertainty on what to latch on, right? On where to be our roots. It turned out to be actually a good, mm, let's say, a good thing, because actually God tends to do this. He turns out a good, greater good out of something that is very bad, right? Not that he 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 can bring good out of evil. Let's say. Anyways, the story, our story is like our greater good came out the fact that we actually now have to focus on Christ more. Like so,
Mm.
what was, let's say, um, o- o- overcast by the figure of our founder, by being removed, by founder being removed from there, we were able to. We have to shine. We have to put place our focus on Christ
Yeah,
all the
like
more,
where the
right?
spirit moved in all of
Yeah,
that. Because that's like my question, like how do you like, I don't know, like it's very tied into the founder, like everything, right? So now you have to find out like where this inspiration was,
correct.
and where that stops, and where the found fathers ends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like for us, whenever we're like confused, or like we have to decide some major things about the congregation, we always go back to the writings of our founder, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where we discern what the spirit was actually saying to
Mm-hmm.
him. No, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily to be stuck with the words of the founder, but
Yeah.
to discern what the spirit was really moving with in his life. So how's I
Yeah.
don't know, like how, what do you do as a
Yeah, this is a
congregation?
very
How,
challenging one
yeah.
actually. But we have to go to the inspiration also that is shared by the people
Mm-hmm.
that share the, let's say, the beginning of the congregation. And even if the founder is not only not a model but actually
Mm-hmm.
no good, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, and that we have to separate from him. Well, the fact is that God used this person,
Yeah.
and he put some way of making his church more beautiful, right? With our
Yeah.
charisma, we have to go to that, but that's very related to Christ himself, right? We have to go through many reforms, actually,
Yeah.
many years of reforms, from 2010 until like even 2020. There were like years and years of trying to analyze the writings of the founder and actually move away from them, and trying to make the spirit that was left within us and codifying it in new documents, right? Obviously, with the discernment and with the accompaniment of the church, Holy Mother Church, with bishops and cardinals that would actually help us do the process of reform, until finally the church says, you know what? Now the charism that is coming from God, no, um, and using a founder that is not the greatest model, or it's not a model at all, but it's the charism of God. It's been sealed by the approval of Holy Mother Church, and the reforms that you have done, and the purification from anything that might be coming from the founder is moved away. You go ahead, right, and
Mm-hmm.
try to fulfill the mission that um, the Lord has called
Yeah.
you to do. But
That's
it's been
yeah.
challenging. I don't think it's been easy at all, right? It's one of those also beautiful things that the Lord has given us as human beings. I remember when I was a young seminarian, I was
Yeah,
trying, but
you were where were you already when that all that played out?
I was in the United States.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
you were like almost a priest,
I
not
was
yet
like
a priest.
maybe 5 years
Uh-huh.
before becoming a priest. Yeah.
Already perpetually professed.
Uh, just before actually doing my perpetual vows.
Oh my
Which
gosh,
is the-
it's
is
like
the-
you're engaged but not yet married,
Yeah,
and something comes up.
yes. So actually, that was a beautiful challenge, because it kind of like makes you focus on who am I following, why am I following, and it's not certainly a founder, it's Christ, and I follow him because
Yeah, oh my
I know that
gosh.
he loves me. And Paul says he loved me and gave himself up for me. Right?
Mm-mm.
I live now not in the flesh, but in him who loves me and love me to the.
That's amazing.
So you focus more on the Lord.
Actually, Father, I ask because I have a soft spot for your congregation because of all that you went through. Like when I see a member, a legionaries of Christ, priest or brother, I say, "Oh, that guy's the real deal." Because I mean, after all that happened, and for them to still be there, means that they're really in this for good, for life. And I mean, you went through the fire and came out, you know, because that's intense. Like I'm not sure if I would have.
When I was seminar, and I used to think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go to a place where I'm gonna be a martyr, right, for the faith of Christ. And I used to ask the Lord in prayer, like, God, give me the cross, right? I actually never imagined that the cross was gonna be this,
Yeah, yeah.
and that it was gonna be this heavy, and that actually martyrdom, meaning like actually bearing witness for my faith, the faith of Christ who loves me, would be this way, right? Because actually, maybe a little bit dramatic, right? But it's really hard when people ask me, so where are you from? I'm from Mexico. What's your religious congregation? I say, well, I'm the Legionaries of Christ. And then immediately in the mindset of your average Catholic, Juan de la Cruz, they ask me, so who's your founder? Thinking that my founder is going to be
You know,
a
this
holy man.
saint to be.
Saying to me.
Yeah.
And I have to say, well, no, my founder is actually not good. Period. Right? It's
Oh yeah,
actually
that's what
bad.
you say.
Yeah, that's what I say, right? I don't know what other legionaries say, but I say
Were you
my
given
founder.
a script to say?
No,
Did you
no.
all agree on the story, the statement?
What we had to agree is that we cannot place him as a model of
Okay.
priesthood, right?
Uh-huh.
But to me, it's like I have to be very, very realistic, and I have to say, yeah, well, this is part of the following of Christ for me, which entails also is part of my cross.
Yeah.
It's part of my martyrdom. It's part of my actually bearing witness to the faith that I have in Christ, the one that loves me. And the one that I ask, hey, give me the cross so I can follow you. Because Christ says in the gospel, whoever wants to be my disciple, let him take up his daily cross and follow me.
Yeah, my goodness. I mean, they should make a movie out of this congregation.
I think they have.
Has anyone done it? Because it's very inspiring. I mean, it's very difficult for you guys, but very inspiring for all of us
It's
watching
challenging.
from outside. But that's amazing, brother. I was telling you earlier, like when I was not yet a priest, that's the website renumchristi.net,
Yes.
I think. So I would in the 2010s, 2008, I think I would go there every day because there was a daily meditation. And then, soon after the whole controversy broke out, and I just automatically said, "Oh, that's it, they're done."
Yeah.
So I have to look for another website to visit. So I really thought, it was gone. And then some years later, I met this. I was in the retreat house, and then your school in BGC was having their own retreat. So, and me being trying to be friendly, I just asked, "What congregation are you from?" And he said, "Legionaries of Christ." My mouth just dropped. Like, what? You're still alive after all of that, And then I just remember it because I felt like I was also in my own like vocation journey. I was like wondering like I was a few years short of my final vows. So I was also wrestling with the question of like, do you really want to be Saint Paul? Like,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if this is like for life for me.
Mm.
And I guess that encounter with one of your members came at the right time because I
Yeah.
asked him, why are you still a member? And especially because he told me that he was still like as if not yet, was an aspirant or something
Yeah.
when the controversy broke out. So I just asked, so why are you still there? You could have just jumped ship. There are 100 congregations that would take, vocations in a heartbeat because there are a few of us already. And then the answer he gave me was, I've never felt Jesus more alive than in this community.
Mm.
So regardless of what happened,
Yeah.
I would stay.
So
So yeah.
actually, this ties back to the beginning of our conversation. When you asked me, where are you from? Well, here is where I have felt at home. And what I
Mm,
mean is in this congregation,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even with the things that are in need of purification, even with a history that is not as nice as I wish I would be, right?
Mm,
And the reason why I feel at home here is because here is the first time ever in my life when I felt that God loves me.
yeah, that's amazing.
So, I mean, it's really easy to say, I believe. Really, I do believe. And I wish no one would take this faith that I have in Christ, in the Christ that, in the Jesus that gives meaning even to these dark periods of congregation, right? I do believe in the Christ that loves me. I do
Mm,
believe in the Christ that is happy with my little gift of life. With like I want when I was 16, 17 years old, I wanted to be generous with my life. Well, I feel like yeah, I'm giving the Lord, right, a chance. He certainly gives us a lot, right? Gives me opportunity of encountering very, very nice people, right? People in school. I work at La Salle University as chaplain. I encounter so many students that give me so much. But the main satisfaction is knowing that I'm trying to do God's will, right? And no matter what, right? So
yeah. That I really appreciate you. Are you willing to talk about
yeah,
that?
sure.
I wish I could like point to who that guy was. I wish I took a picture with him.
Okay.
I wish we could trace him who that guy is because his testimony came to me at the right. I remember like immediately after telling my brothers in the junior aid community, I met this guy and he said never felt Christ more alive than in his community. Is that true for us? So, it just it really left a mark. And it really was I was blessed to have met your congregation again after so many years and so many presumptions
Yeah.
on my end about what all that was. But anyway, oh my goodness, Father. Well, you've been a priest. I just want to know, like, you've been a priest for 10 years, or 3 years in the Philippines, right?
3 years.
But what else have you done, like in this being generous with your life,
Trying
and
to at
as
least.
an, with your legionaries. By the way, I follow a lot of your brothers on Instagram. Some of them are they're very inspiring people. So like it's amazing. So what else
So
have you been doing with your
I
ministry?
I did ministry in Canada 3 years and in United States 2 years, and I study grad school in Italy for 2 years. So
Oh,
all
what was that for?
philosophy.
Well, why did you laugh?
Because no one does grads, not even priests. They don't go grad school for philosophy. Like usually they do theology or
Did you choose
whatnot.
that?
Yeah, I actually did. I
What's wrong with you?
actually my fellow legionary brothers like, why are you doing philosophy? But I really liked it. I really actually the reason why I selected it is because this obsession that I have about home, right?
Okay.
So I was trying to find out what makes home for human beings and why it's so important for the human person.
Okay.
I was
So
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 nerdy thing, right?
no. I was just so it's like I'm just curious. Like, you chose to study philosophy? I imagine a priest who studies that would think that he would be involved in formation or in the seminary. But did that play out the way you thought it would?
No. So what happens is I studied philosophy after 5 years of being a priest,
Uh huh.
and I actually had thought about it. Right, once I'm gonna become a priest, I'm gonna try to get some ministry growth and some some sort of experience, and then I'm gonna go back to study to kind of like make a synthesis. So in the first 5 years of ministry, I found out that I my experience was that there is a lot of confusion out there about what does it mean to be a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went back to studies, I wanted to study something that was related to human beings, to the person. And I
Mm-hmm.
found that the way to do that, sure, you can do it from a theological perspective, but you can even go from the most simple ideas that are very natural and can be a common language for all human beings all across the universe and all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I figured that was a philosophical topic, right?
Oh, okay. So now, like, now I'm wondering because, like, is that serving you well now that you're working with university students in a, in this setting? Is or
I think
what are
so.
the
I think
students
so.
asking you these
I
days?
think so. Many times they ask about simple things like about human relationships, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they ask about what does it mean to be. They don't ask in this question, but like, what does it mean to be a human being, a person? What does it mean to be? What does it mean to have a future? How does the past condition is? What's freedom? How
Mm-hmm.
to exercise freedom in a proper way? Um, what's responsibility, what's love, and all those things are actually very, let's say, human. They don't,
Yeah.
they get enlightened by the theological data, but even in a very human way, you can give answers. And I found that what I was studying, it actually equipped me with good tools to answer them from a very simple way, right? Very very yeah.
Okay.
Big-
Yeah. 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 Um. Anything very memorable, or what was the most memorable thing for you in the past 3 years that you've been working in university here in the Philippines?
the Philippines is really beautiful because people are very, I found that people are very good. I
Ah, you're
really,
just saying that.
no. I really mean it.
Yeah.
Um, I do believe in the goodness of human beings.
Uh huh.
Really, obviously there are people that um, are conditioned or intentionally are bad, but most people are good.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found that in the Philippines they are particularly good because they have been given a talent of a deep interior life, um, a lot of reflection, a lot of introspection, and also a lot of prayer.
Mm.
And one of the things that has happened to me in university is that many times as an extrovert Mexican foreigner, I do things that I don't realize that are actually making an impact in human beings in the university.
Like what?
For instance, like there was this student that she used to go to mass quite often
Uh huh.
in on campus, and she was very shy,
Mm-hmm.
and she was actually struggling a lot with studies. One
Mm-hmm.
of the most difficult courses in university, and I didn't know that because she wouldn't speak. So what I did as an extrovert foreigner, it was I would smile intentionally. I would
Mm-hmm.
smile, kind of like almost like trolling her, like like. But actually, when that person graduated from university, she wrote to me a huge, beautiful letter, right?
Wow.
Saying, "Father, you don't know how much it would brighten my day whenever you would smile and say hi to me." That
Mm.
was actually what sustained me, and that actually gave me hope to keep
Wow.
going. Right?
So
So I
all
was
you did
like,
was smile at her?
I just smiled. Nothing else.
Mm.
Like I know very little about her story because I never spoke with her.
Imagine. Wow.
So
So never underestimate a smile.
yeah, never. So that was very profound, right? And I found like that's actually what made me think like people are really good here. There are very
Mm.
good people here.
I
Very
mean,
interior. Also, we have a lot of interior depth.
yeah. So, Father, we had talked about a lot of things, but I'm sure we haven't maybe you'll be down to join us again sometime
Yeah,
soon.
it'll be fun, yeah.
Maybe I can go over to Lasal.
Okay.
So because I feel like there's so much more, but I know that we cannot unpack all of that in one episode. But it's been very, very inspiring,
Thank
to
you.
say the least. But maybe you'd have like to impart like any closing message or word to our podcast listeners from what we've talked about.
Well, I have a deep conviction, and I mentioned it as the hinge of my life. I really believe that God loves me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a conviction that I wish it would go deeper and deeper and deeper in my life. But if I were to give a final message to anyone, I would say that Christ is the most important person in the world, and that for his love and for understanding that we are beloved, we're loved by him, I would give anything, and I would like to share that with anyone that is listening here to this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to wish that everyone in prayer would get to know him more and get to love him more by being aware that he loves us to the end, right? So that would be my message. I don't know. That's kind of like the thing that is in my heart.
It's not what you said, Father. It's the way you said it. It was very sincere. So I think a lot of people would resonate with that. Well, Father, do you have any socials or do you put out any content?
No, I don't put much content.
You
I
don't?
just try to share my life in.
You should ask your brothers to help you with that. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear your thoughts, your philosophy.
They're
You can explain to them, Heidegger. No, because Father, I just want to normally ask my guests where they can follow you, but you're not active on social
I'm
media.
active, but not that much, to be honest.
Okay.
I do try to be very approachable, right? Especially with the students in university, because I feel that they are the sheep that the Lord has given me to be the shepherd, right? So I try to be very approachable to them, but I don't post much.
It's
much
okay,
content
Father.
intentional. Right?
Maybe down the line that
Maybe
will
down the
come
line.
to you.
Yes.
So, Father Alejandro, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for joining us in the podcast. To everyone who tuned in, listened, and viewed all the way up to this point, thank you very much for joining us. And kung nagustuhan niyo po yung napanood ninyo, you can follow us on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and please also leave us a rating because those ratings help us reach more people organically. And if you believe that what you heard here is needed by a lot of people, then that is the best way to help support our little program. So once again, my name is Father Albert with Father Alejandro. And this is the podcast powered by St. Paul's, and may God bless us all.